Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. The Sidekicks are here, and with us, of course, a very special guest down here below, Mr. Chris, the comic vet. How you doing today, guys?
What's up, man?
Good.
So, funny story on why there's three of us today. So, Slot hits me up and tells me yesterday, I think it was, sends me a message, hey, my phone's broken, and I can't make the show.
New phone.
And I go, my immediate response was, you stream from your phone? What are you, Chris?
Right?
And,
But look how handsome I look.
and he
My
goes,
camera's
no.
great.
He says, no, something came up, but I couldn't text you because my phone was broken. I said,
Yeah.
duh. So he says, you're going to need to find a fill-in. So, of course,
What better?
My brother from Slab Hub comes up, and he's chimes on. I got this nice whole thing written up, like all kind of Batman-esque with, what's this? One of our sidekicks is missing, captured by a fiendish villain, no less, or no doubt. It's like, what's going to happen to our show? Fear not. This whole thing I had in my head running was great. And then Slot goes this morning, he's like, oh, hey, I'm able to make it. I'm all, okay, great. Should I tell Chris then not to come on? And he said, no, have him come on. So then I tell Chris, hey, Chris, we're just so you know, Slot's gonna be here. We're gonna have a three-way. Wink. And he goes, it's not Slab Hub, Rob. But then,
Right.
Anyways, long story short, here we are, here to talk to you guys today. And who are you guys? Well, damn it, you are a legion of comics.
We
You
are
like the way we did that? That's awesome. Welcome, Mark. Thanks for joining us. Lacrucius from New Mexico. Always a pleasure to have you. The cover collector. Hope that you're sober today. Gary B, the casual comic guy. Happy to have you. Always the wonderful Miss Super Jessie.
Better half.
The better half. That's right. DJ Lynx here and getting his warm up. We're like his tailgate party for his members only thing tonight. White Shadow, Chip Getler. Hey, thanks for coming here. Hoarder's Hide, Scott. Welcome.
What's up,
Scott's been correcting me on all my Dell mistakes as I've been doing the last couple days. Digger Jim, happy to have you on there. That's right. Hashtag three-way. Taylor Winder's there. He's probably just here for he heard three-way and came running. Troy's Reviews. Hey, welcome. So, last week there was some news came across the old interwebs. Dear CBCS customer, thank you for your loyalty and patience as CBCS has witnessed explosive growth over the past 24 months while working to ensure delivery of services to you despite issues related to the pandemic and continuing supply chain strains. CBCS has experienced, as all providers of goods and services have seen over the past 24 months, a rapid increase in material costs. CBCS is committed to controlling costs to our customers as much as possible, but at this time we are implementing new pricing for our Fast Pass and 2-day modern expedited service levels. Our goal is to continue to provide the best possible turn times in the industry for these services and commit to you the best graded, pressing, and encapsulating comics in the industry. You can check out our expedited service pricing here or contact sales representative for more information. Thank you again. CBCS looks forward to continuing to be a provider of choice for your comic grading, pressing, and encapsulation. So, price hikes, which immediately Jason goes, I told you.
If you think that CBCS, PGX, any of these other grading companies would do anything any different, you're blind as well. The best part about that's the Abe Lincoln beard.
Yeah. You're a bloody prophet.
Well, keeping in mind that they have a 4-week lag right now, at least, to get it into their system. If it needs to be, they're fixing it. 8 to 9 weeks, I think it is.
They
right?
are. They did. They fixed it quite well, actually.
Oh.
But so that was back on our show. We talked about CGC, right? And obviously, it was important that we come back and circle to CBCS because I saw a lot of the CGC people when this announcement came out fans were like, oh, where are the CBS fans now? All this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. How you feel about this. So let's start off with, how do you feel about this? We have a price increase from CBCS when Steve Borak had come and said, oh, we wouldn't raise our prices during a pandemic. Well, he never said we wouldn't. I think his words were, I don't see us doing that. Now, he's not the ultimate decision maker, right? He doesn't own the company anymore. But that's what he said. We have a price increase on 2 services, 2-day turnaround time, which had blown up to be about a 2-week turnaround time,
Wow.
which had gone from members' price of $36 increases to $45, and non-members increased from $40 to $50. So a 25% increase there. And then they also increased the fast pass pricing, which cuts your grading time in half on the standard. That went from $9 for members to $15, and a $10 price for non-members up to $20. So a 100% price increase for non-members on fast pass. The big numbers, percentage-wise, the question is, how does that make you feel, gentlemen, either one of you?
I mean, if I'm going to send my comics in, like when I was sending my comics in, you might as well get a membership and save yourself that fee. I mean, I did. So.
Right. Chris, any thoughts?
Well, outside of comic books, let's be honest. Like, that's not right. Put it back. Everything across the board is going up. It may not be news to the two of you because you guys are in the United States, but here in Ontario, they're literally in January going to raise the price of milk across the board 8%. That may not seem a lot, but when milk is already expensive, it's just driving home the fact that we're now witnessing inflation literally happening in front of our eyes. Now, I know we're here to talk about our hobby and that kind of thing, but I don't think either of the big two, CGC or CBS, considering how far behind they are with orders, that they shouldn't be jacking up the price. They need to literally get it back on track. Like 2 weeks behind on a 2-day guarantee, or what's supposed to be a major selling point for CBCS, a 2-day turnaround is 2 weeks. That is incredible. Those are terrible numbers. Like like I gotta have something in my coffee, but it's
You can't keep a straight face. Come on. All right, so these things are happening. Let's be honest, right?
Like that.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We got ground beef the other day. It was $9 a pound for freaking ground beef, right? So yeah, things are going up. Everything's going up, and that's definitely. I mean, inflation is one of the things. There's no doubt about that. I think one of the things that there's 2 things in play here when it comes to CBS. First of all, I don't have a problem with this price increase, but Rob, you had such problems with the price increases before. And then fast tracking has gone from $10 to $15. Now, this is probably the one price increase that I absolutely am thrilled with. If it stops some people from cutting the line, I think it can absolutely help. So back then, I was in favor of increasing the prices for fast track. And I don't have a problem with, again, increasing it again here either, because if we make that less desirable, maybe there's less people jumping the line, and maybe that has a positive impact on lead times. And that's where we've seen the 2 things here. The only 2 things they raised prices on were these 2 expedited, the modern day expedited. The cost of if I want to expedite my Golden Age or Silver Age books, that price didn't go up. Only the moderns went up, and that's where we have this glut of stuff that's being rushed and thrown in there, right?
All these new variants, and
so there's definitely, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say all these new variants and covers that everybody is rushing to get there and get signed and graded before, so they can get rid of them and sell them.
Yeah, and back on the CGC show when we talked about this, we talked about all the number of stores that were guaranteed 9/8. If you've noticed how many recently had switched and now they were guaranteeing CBCS 9/8, there were still a lot that were doing CGC, but there was a significant number that were doing the CBCS. So that's definitely one impact that potentially looks like, as an outsider, that that's a targeted price increase to try to help reduce the people jumping in front of the line that keep pushing the other back. But there's the other piece that you're talking about, Chris, the supply chain that they went out of their way to mention. Not only is there inflation, but this sudden surge and this quantities that come in on with short turnaround times plays really difficult if you're trying to forecast how much material you need to have on hand in order to do the encapsulation. With right now the lead times the way they are to get anything over a ship on cargo, that means they're having to, in order to make these quick turnaround times, they have to push the normals out, and they're having to expedite their services. Chris didn't just freeze; he had dropped completely. So,
Sorry, guys.
I thought you were just so intently.
I know, me
into
too.
what
I was
saying.
like, wow, he's.
But so then they're having to air freight stuff over, which has a significantly even higher price on stuff. So I think that this also helps them to offset some of that cost that they're having to do from offset increased expedited material handling, as well as to help even out their demand on their supply chain. At least that's what I would think. Goddamn
Scott,
flippers.
I
Huzzah.
agree.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, Chris, back to you. What?
In the end, like Jason hit the nail on the head when he forecasted that a little while ago. Like,
If that little bit more money means that my books are going to come back quicker, then hallelujah.
right. But I think
Sorry, that was the perfect time. I had to hit
Thanks.
it.
But I honestly think that the
Great job,
timing,
Rob.
their timing of the price hikes, considering how far behind they are with their own orders on obviously modern tier books, the timing is poor. There's no better way to say it. The timing is poor. What they should do is there should have been a big public statement that we're offering a lot of overtime to our employees. We're trying to catch up. But when we catch up, just a heads up, there's going to be a changing affecting some tiers. And then they could have done something for January. You know, they could have given themselves 2 months till after Christmas to try and catch up the best that they can. Because, you know, they're still going to offer discount codes. We're probably going to have some Black Friday stuff. And then the same vicious cycle is going to happen again. They're going to fall behind on a lot of these tiers. Like when I say tiers, obviously we're talking about the modern stuff. I'm talking about the fast track, whatever turnaround times that they have. It's all going to fall behind again because a lot of the people that do subscribe to them or whatever get the discount, the normal discount. There's always discount codes thrown at them periodically. Correct, Rob?
There had been, but actually I have not seen a discount code other than one for in person at New York Comic Con. There hasn't been one for about 3 months, at least since June. I think was the last discount code I'd seen.
Right.
And I will say that the lead times, if you're sending stuff in just for straight grading stuff, aren't any better right now. I'm not seeing anything significantly better at CBCS than it is at CGC. It's taking me 8 weeks to get stuff received. It's taking, 150 plus days to get stuff graded. So the lead times and stuff are there, about the same. I do like the slab better. The pricing is cheaper still for me when I, even and I didn't do this comparison, but I would speculate, given how much cheaper they were to begin with, I would bet that even still, I mean, the Fast Pass prices they raised to at $15 for a member is the same price it is at CGC. So they raised their price to match CGC there. The 2-day, I'm not sure, but I would speculate it's probably slightly cheaper still than CGC's pricing, but I might be wrong. So I failed as a host to double check that aspect.
I think eventually, like at first, right? CGC had this much more business, so they were more expensive. CBCS was here. I think eventually, I don't know why they didn't do this to begin with, but CBCS should have just raised their prices when CGC did, because eventually I think they're going to level out, and eventually I think they're going to be pretty darn close to each other.
Yeah, I think that you'll probably, you're probably not too far off, and that they probably will at some point. I think it was important that they didn't raise prices initially when CGC did, in order to get more people to move over and experiment, and we start to see the needle move. And this is a limited price raise, so I think you'll still continue to see the needle move. Unless CGC is successful in all of a sudden clearing their backlogs and stuff. We hear news about some people getting some kind of new experimented receiving process that's getting their books received faster, but we don't know a lot about that. So
does CBCS do things other than comics? I'm ignorant with that. I mean, Beckett
does.
So it's Beckett Media altogether, right? And this area where they delve into it, they deal with comic books, but they also have BGS that deals with sports cards and that kind of thing. And like, I really think that's their sweetest plum right there. I think outside of the comic book stuff, the graded cards, they're up there with the industry standard.
The difference is, I believe the Beckett grading services stuff is at a different facility, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought BGS was in Dallas. I might be wrong, but again, where I am here in Canada,
you have the
UK.
There's a Canadian drop off. Yeah,
there's a Canadian drop off, and at every sports card event, like a hockey card show, because it's Canada, sports card shows that are in and around Toronto, they are prevalent. Like, you walk in their front door and their banners are in your face. They're everywhere.
But they're not doing money.
Coupons and everything. Yeah.
they're not grading money. They're not grading video games. They're not grading concert posters. They're not grading magazines even.
Yeah,
right.
CGC has a huge
Can we slap a grade on it?
But are those money making endeavors though? I know CGC handles
well, cards all
that kind of stuff.
Like, I would imagine. I don't know how much currency grading draws in for them. I'm sure it doesn't. Or movie concert group posters. I've never seen a graded movie concert poster in my life.
Video games graded.
Video games. Video games and the cards. I would expect are big things for them, and God knows when before they announce figures and stuff, right? But
yeah,
because that's another one that's been out there. But all right, so I think we all kind of agree that. Yeah, this kind of sucks, but it's not. It's not
foreshadowed.
It's targeted. It makes sense with what's going on in the industry out there. And once again, we're going to throw the caveat on there that if it actually helps to clear the backlog, then great. Doesn't seem to work for any person, right? But will it is the question, right? Do people just kick and scream, but then still pay their money anyways? Because we know they're not going to go to PGX, and I doubt they're going to go to EGS. I mean, I've heard a couple people talk about, well, I'll check them out, but they haven't done anything to change their slabs from that slab it yourself freaking Newton ring disaster of a slab.
Yeah, CGC.
At least in my, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. In my personal experience, 100% of the slabs, 5 limited sample size I did had massive Newton ring issues. I can't say for certain that every single one.
Your art slab, your art that came back was really nice.
That was the original art. That was a PGX thing through PGXEs. They're the only ones who would encapsulate. It's not slabbed entirely. They just encapsulate it on the inner well stuff. But for that size, they were the only ones who would do it. But I wouldn't use them for anything else because.
But I just hope that they're wise with this, with raising this money and getting a new investment coming in from the customers, that they do this wisely, that this is not just going to line pockets, that they take care of overtime fees so that the people they have working there can continue to catch up. Like, let them work Saturdays, if they have to work Sundays, or if they're going into their afternoon shift, let these people work to continue to start knocking off more books so that the backlog is taken care of, and that the frustration that obviously not just this channel or our channels collectively, but everywhere when it comes to graded books, they're all complaining about the same thing, that the void is getting larger and larger and larger between turnaround times.
It's just, yeah.
And it seems like we all know the state of Florida is back to work. We all know that the governor is doing what he's doing and putting people back to work. Whether or not you feel that they should be back to work, they are. So, let's I hope that sincerely hope that they're putting this money. There's nothing socialist about this, Canadian, but I sincerely hope that they're putting this money back into the employees' wallets by the form of giving them overtime, because that's the only way they're going to dig themselves out of this hole, outside of hiring new people. But who knows how long it takes to train these people to what their standard is. And we all know CBCS seems to be grading at a higher level.
Yeah, and we do know that is something they've been doing too, because every time you would log on to the stupid CBCS website and try to click on something, just as about the time it would take you to get to their website and go to click on something, then the stupid pop-up would come up letting you know that, hey, we're hiring, that you had to close. You couldn't just bypass. So
they need to hire more customer service, and they need to make their website better than CG, or at least as good as CGC's, because it's not.
None of them have a good tracking system. That's the
their tracking is horrible. You have to really delve into the damn thing to look up and see tracking and where it's going. So
where it's at, yeah, timely tracking of your books, with estimated lead time, whatever for that whatever phase it's in, would go a long way, even if you didn't improve the lead time. Just having that transparency, because that's the biggest frustration I think a lot of people have, is whether it's CGC or CBCS, you send it off and it goes into this black hole, and you get notification once they initially receive it, maybe, and they charge your credit card. But after that, all the other updates that you're told you're going to get, I've never seen any of them. And it's very frustrating because they just sit there and you don't know what's going on. But all right. So CBCS aside, there was another piece of news last week that came out that I don't know if I know that Slot's not actively collecting comics at this time, but Chris,
not physical comics,
not physical comics, right? And Chris, do you keep track of your inventory of all your collection there?
I'm in the process of beginning that.
And what system are you using?
The one we're about to talk about.
Right. So CLZ Comics last week had some news that come out. People had been noticing for the past week. One of the features that was in there was it would give you pricing based on, if you entered a grade in there, it would come up with what the pricing was based on what GoCollect was saying the fair market value was. So it was basically getting information from GoCollect and populating that into the CLZ app or web browser. And it had stopped working about a month or so ago, or we started seeing a lot fewer updates. Now it's completely done. And last week they announced that it's done, right? I'm not going to read this to you guys. I'll summarize it. But essentially, both CLZ posted and GoCollect both posted information about this change. And essentially what the parts that they both agree to is, because when there's a breakup, people have disagreeing views, right? Is that, yeah, Taylor, people, it was funny, I've seen a lot of people complaining that this feature's gone away, but people also used to complain all the time about GoCollect's pricing not being necessarily accurate, and it was focused solely on slab sales.
Sales off eBay last sold, right?
Well, eBay, Heritage, and Comic Link auctions of slabbed comic books, and for the longest time, only CGC slabbed comics. So anything else wasn't considered in the stuff. But back when they first introduced this feature, essentially CLZ had approached GoCollect, and GoCollect created an API, which, for those of you who aren't tech wizards, is basically a connection that allows them to dip into the database and populate information, take that raw data and populate it into their platform application, consume the data how they want to. So there was an API that was created for free initially for CLZ to use, because it was basic in nature, and GoCollect had plans sometime after about a year to rebuild it with more feature rich. And at that point, then they would start charging CLZ for use for it. The year went by, 2 years go by, etc. Basically, GoCollect never built this new application, never built a new API, never approached them about charging for it. They started working on their new website, which that's a whole nother discussion we could have about whether it's better or worse. And in the process, when they started switching their platform over, the API no longer functioned. And now we have no more data coming in because you changed the data source and everything else. And so rather than initially, apparently, this is where stories start to diverge. CLZ claims that GoCollect said that they were looking into it and working on correcting it. GoCollect says that there was a difference in professional, I don't know what their exact words, something about professional freaking lifestyles or work styles or something, but they weren't going to do it. Anyways, it all comes down to GoCollect's not going to build the API right now. It's not a priority. They haven't given a timeline to it, although both say that GoCollect wants to create the API again. But for now, they said, okay, well, if you're not building it, then we're moving on. And so they've kind of split apart. They divorced.
They separated.
Right, they separated. There's no more date prices going in. So if you have GoCollect and you're looking at prices, any prices that had been imported in, those prices will still be there populated. What you'll notice is gone now are the links to GoCollect, where you used to be able to click on that pricing link directly to it and GoCollect. That's gone, and there'll be no new price updates. So whatever was there is there. There are other options out there. Excellent, Scott. So what we've lost is pricing. People got bent, and CLZ has taken the burden of the complaints, obviously, because that's the interface that people are using. And what's odd is, as we mentioned, people complained about the pricing accuracy previously, but now they're complaining about the fact that it's not available. CLZ, if you're interested and you have it, they do have stuff on their website about it and have said that they'll issue people refunds if they want to just abandon the app altogether, or if you feel that it was adversely affected you, they'll give you up to like 3 months of credit on your subscription to try to make up for it. Now, here's the other piece of news that came out from CLZ, which may make up for this. So while we're losing this pricing, and they said that they do plan to look at other pricing options, whether it be down the road reconnecting with GoCollect or looking at another source of data to bring in. They announced, however, that release 7.0, which is, I think, supposed to be their next release, is going to, either the next one or very near future, is now going to have key comics automatically populate. It's not a key collector interface, so they're saying it's not going to be speculation. It's going to be true key comics. But now one of the biggest things people had asked for was, when I scan in my books, and you have this section that allows you to identify and label what key my comic book keys are, they're now going to have that. And that's a huge win. I think is more important as a comic book collector than having a fluctuating price off of eBay on there.
When I used it, it wasn't for the price. It was for keeping track of what books were where and what I had. eBay last sold prices, you know, that was the easiest way to look up price for me. But it was more of an organization thing, and that's big right there for organization.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
I agree. Like, to me, it was just a master list. You know, instead of creating my own documents on my phone or my computer, you just use the app, track it all in there, just so I have an idea of if I'm at a con, do I have Hulk 180? Okay, I know I have Hulk 180, but what's the grade? What are those pages again? Are they white? Are they off-white? And I'd be able to go through it and check it out. But this step that they want to take forward is incredible. Now I can put in, specifically the run of ASM 1 to 50 and find out which ones are the major keys, which ones are the minor keys, go from there. But I could also do stuff from the 80s that I worked on, like Fantastic Four, from 200 to 300. There may not be any major keys in there. However, that would be at the forefront of my mind. But I then would be able to, with this new idea that they're talking about, plug in that I have 200 to 300, and all of a sudden 246 is a key that I had no idea about, or 251 is the new Nova, or 258 is considered like a Galactus appearance. I had no idea, but it's a full Galactus cover kind of thing. Or one is the first John Byrne doing FF. That's groundbreaking stuff that we're talking about, that we don't have to do the physical labor for, other than simply plugging in. I have FF 209 kind of thing. Yeah. And that's a service that, in my opinion, I can't wait to subscribe to properly.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, for me, again, the pricing was always nice, but I always had to go look for, once you saw it, so okay, it gave you an idea. You still had to go dig in, because that pricing was buffered and all this other stuff didn't reflect right then and there. The key issue thing was laborious, to go in and periodically go through books and try to look them up someplace to different, because I don't know every key, or even a lot of keys for that matter. I mean, there's just so many. When your collection starts sprawling in thousands and thousands and thousands of comics, you're challenged.
It's an endless well of knowledge for us.
This is potentially very helpful, and like I said, I think it's a great tool that I would rather have over pricing. I still hope that at some point they do come up with some sort of price guide on there, but it's great, because I mean, it's real simple, at least from my opinion. Anyways, we do see some people coming up here on the end. Welcome, Becker. Badges. Scott was talking about badges. We don't need no stinking badges, though. Shaq, how you doing? Taylor, how you doing? Tyler, rather. Taylor, Tyler, tomato, potato. And with that, let me give you guys closing thoughts on either of these two topics.
I told you so.
If you think that CBCS, PGX, any of these other grading companies would do anything any different, you're blind as well.
The great prophet of Oregon strikes again. Almighty prophet, thank you for your wisdom.
If that little bit more money means that my books are going to come back quicker, then hallelujah.
Sadly, that's not going to happen. It's just like, thank you for the money.
Right. It was 10 months, CBCS. Those suckers got me for 10 months. 10 months.
Yeah, things don't die on the internet. Just ask Jason.
He suggested to me, he said, now you're going to have that clip, right, of me telling you that I was right. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think Rob was really going to do it, because he's like, you make the the graphics for the thing. Did I really think he was going to take the time to chop those little videos up and put them into? No.
Yeah, I think it's with the reputation CBCS is developing, especially in the last 6 months alone. It's just a question of time before their prices start to mirror what CGC is at, or going to be at eventually down the road. I think it's just going to soon be personal preference. CBCS is probably going to deliver the much better, sexier, stronger slab itself, but CGC is going to just kind of move forward on name alone. It's it's kind of like the car industry. Everyone's aware of what General Motors has done in the last 100 years. However, are you going to go by that base level Chevy versus the Toyota, when the Toyota now has a reputation of lasting well and having good resale? This is the part where the comments are going to explode. But anyways, the part I really want to touch on is I really think that's a wonderful idea when it comes to addressing keys. When you enter in your books into a database, if that database has the wherewithal to tell you, hey, you have a first appearance, you have a first cameo, you have you have a first writer or artist on this book, or this is this artist's first appearance on this book, whether it's a minor or major key, that to me, that's very, very important. And that's something that, once you dive into certain types of databases that are just collection counters for you, you quickly realize that's not there. Like those are just, you're clicking that box. Yep, I own that book. Yep, I own that book. It's not going to tell you like it. Obviously, the major keys like Hulk 181, it'll tell you what some of those things may tell you what it is. But how many brand new Avengers keys in the last 12 months have come out of nowhere when it comes to?
And that's the question to be seen ultimately on CLZ changes. What database are they using for it? They're saying the words that they used in their teaser for the new feature was that it wasn't going to focus on speculation like that other app.
Like Key Collector.
They didn't say that. They said the other app.
So they could totally be playing the words and really be. Yeah.
I mean, we're probably. I mean, what app has got all the hype and gotten and is focused on speculator market? But who knows?
It'll be come down to bells and whistles and then versus the price.
This is something that hey, maybe we'll, in the future, I'd like to explore maybe with Scott is talk about comic bases. I don't. What's funny is like you hear a lot of people talk about CLZ, but you don't hear much, or at least I haven't heard much about comic base recently. So that might be something we explore in a future show.
There you go. Good idea.
All right, gentlemen,
we're Comic Tom is his guide to keys.
Yeah, which is Key Collector. So since he even says, I basically take the Key Collector app and I spit out my show.
It works. He's got himself a recipe.
And that's, I'm not gonna knock him. Yeah, I mean he's everybody's watched him and at some point in time, and whether you continue to watch him, great. If you get sick of them, great. Eventually I just realized that the shows that he did weren't for me, but that's not what we're here to talk about. CBCS, CLZ, thank you everybody. We're at the end of our time here as we're in overtime. So let's wrap it on up. I want to make sure that invite you guys to make sure that you look down below there and you'll find Chris the Comic Vet's information. That man should be at 500 like 6 months ago, and he's not there yet.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah. So let's get him there. Show your support for Canada. Do it for Canada.
Oh, they're
do it for
totally.
What is
totally
Kraft
not going to do it now.
Kraft
dinner.
Kraft dinner. Do it for
See,
Kraft dinner, for God's sake.
It's so foreign for me to hear you say mac and cheese. It's just like people saying Xerox. To me, it's just Kraft dinner. Mac and cheese. That's like a knockoff.
All right. So, Chris, anything? Obviously, tomorrow you've got your new comic book day show. Community hop on and say hi and show off their books and jibber jabber with one another.
Mm-hmm. So today I just dropped a Morbius trailer 1 reaction video, and I already have in the pipeline the second trailer, which was actually Sony released that today. I'll be dropping that tomorrow. It's already filmed and loaded, ready to go. Tomorrow night, like Rob was saying, it's just a community hangout. Starts around 6:30 Eastern time. If you picked up new books at your comic book shop, feel free to hop on and show us what you got. And Saturday I'll be with him on Slab Hub, pushing the limits of what you can do on YouTube. And
Slab Hub, we're going to have a visit from Mr. Sexual Harassment Panda Awesome 316 himself.
Nice.
Panda Awesome 316 joins Slab Hub to show off, to whip it out and show off a few of what he's got in store.
Right, like get your swear jar ready because it's going to be full by the end of that episode. And like Sunday, 2 cool guys who have picks, and Sunday night I'll be on Legion of Comics talking at week's end. And I believe this Sunday night, if you're a channel member, he's going to be giving away his first Legion loot box, which is full of fantastic books that I can't wait, that I really hope that I get my name pulled for, but we'll see.
You hope to get pulled by Mark. Got it. All right.
Nice.
Slut. Anything in the lineup for you this week?
Yeah, actually we got Thursday in the hot seat with the usual suspects. We have a mustache we're going to be interviewing. I also got a a giveaway video coming up. My Grow Together video, the last channel finally got to that mark and sustained over that mark. So I've got a slabbed comic book that I'm going to be giving away. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. Great. And yeah, I'll have a mystery box opening up on Thursday. Saturday, Slab Hub, already discussed. Thursday, also, I guess I'm over on Gary B's channel in the hot seat. And Friday, I'll probably hang out on the community hangout. What the hell? Friday morning one over on Legion of Comics until he turns it off. All right, everybody. Thank you all to the guys in the chat. So many of you guys. So great to see you guys come out and support the show and let us know what's going on and provide your input throughout the show. Thank you all very much. Until next time, collect what you want. Listen to, don't, whatever. You know how it goes.